Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, and welcome to another episode of Career Talks here on Ramadan FM. I'm your host, Saugat Chowdhury, IT consultant, career strategist, and founder of TechSited Limited. We are live on social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, 87.7 FM, and DAB Radio. Please feel free to call us or text us and let us know where you're listening from today. Mashallah, we're almost at the end of the holy month of Ramadan, and over the last few weeks, we've talked about how to break into corporate world, job search, LinkedIn optimization, how to improve your CVs, and many more topics. And I was blessed to have so many great guests with me, and they shared their insights. And I hope those of you who listen to us also got some benefits out of that. And today we're closing this series with a truly powerful topic: soft skills, interview skills, and building the mindset to lead, whether you are in your career or in your businesses. Now, I'm joined today by two amazing guests who brings great depth of wisdom from worlds of global businesses, entrepreneurship, media, and more. And it gives me great pleasure to even sit with two special guests with me this evening. My first guest, I'm pleased to present, is Ramel Guljarbai, a well-known journalist, entrepreneur, founder of Pukar Group, a media and events company based in Leicester, dedicated to community storytelling and leadership through media. And my second guest, a great mentor of mine, a respected big brother, Zed Sheikh, a global business leader with a vast experience working across industries and now focused on AI, technology, business innovation, and leadership. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the show. How are you today?
Wa alaikum salam.
Great. It's great to have you today. I know 11 o'clock you would have been better off doing something else, resting, but you've managed to be here with me on very short notice. I spoke to you by just the other day and you immediately said yes to me. So I really appreciate for you being here today. So the show is about understanding your life story, your journey, how you've actually, where you started or where you are today. And I would like our audience and our listeners to take away some lessons from there. So why don't we start with you, Ramil Bhai? So tell us something about yourself and where your journey started.
Firstly, I want to say all the listeners, Ramadan Radio, Ramadan Mubarak, and look forward to celebrating Eid in a few days with all of you. My journey started from Lahore, Pakistan. Since the day you born, came to England in Leicester. I always said that I want to die in Leicester and live in Leicester and bury in Leicester.
Oh, beautiful.
The Leicester is a fascinating community. Wherever you take, culture, religious, is fantastic. So coming into this radio station, let's say this is buzzing on this Winton Road. Yeah. That's a journey himself.
Yeah.
You can describe. So coming into Ramadan Radio, this is my, I think it was a fourth experience. It's always a part of the community, is great. My journey started as in England. Let's say I came in as a asylum seeker.
Okay.
Then came to refugee. Then got Asian British. And then so on. Started my career as in Leicester or working as a cleaner.
Wow, brilliant.
And binman, whatever you call. Domestic jobs, factory jobs, but then so on. I always see myself, I'm a dreamer. People sleep and see the dream. I will daytime write a dream and pursue it.
Oh, beautiful. Okay.
Imagine, believe, and achieve. And today people call me in various different names. I always say to know, I'm a struggler and I like to pursue my dreams. Everybody have a journey, everybody have stories. I'm ordinary people, ordinary part of the community, but I like to do something different for myself and for my loved one and for the community. That's it.
Oh, wow. Beautiful. What a beautiful introduction. and I can see that 1 hour is probably not going to be enough to hear all of your stories. But this is brilliant, and we're looking forward to get to more about you in a minute. But I would like to come to Zedbai, and why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and tell us how your journey started?
Well, at the moment I was still in the flow of listening to my brother here, Romel, and I've known him for many years, been following his work. He's got an excellent magazine, the Pukar News. I follow it, and the work he has done for the F&B industry in Leicester. The Curry Awards is one of his things. He's not mentioned.
He's not mentioned
about
that. That's right.
So I think I have to polish that off now and and talk about these things. But yes, indeed, in our journey of life, we started all with nothing. We're immigrants. We are not settlers. We were forcefully sent here to England to settle. And that was in the 70s. So those were the days where everybody had one thing in common. Like Romel mentioned, we all were doing domestic jobs. You landed and the next day you were in a job. And you didn't care what the job was. So those times were different at that time. And then progressively, there's only one way, and that is up. And we progressed in our business career. Each decade brought in new experience. Mm-hmm. The business grew each decade, and you carry on. But I think it's hard work. Take on any job that came along in the first 10 years. And there's a kind of a rule in business. The first 10 years, you are running to make money. The second year, 10 years, you are again trying to pay your debt off that you've acquired in the first 10 years. And then the third 10 year, that is your decade 3, is when you start making money, when you start accumulating assets, and then your journey really begins. But inshallah, everybody has got their own journey. What is here in me is not going to be the same for you. Everybody's got to adapt their own style.
Absolutely.
Right?
And this is amazing, isn't it? Because no matter where you start, it's always about where you end, right? The journey is always, it doesn't matter where you start. And I was talking about this to another session where we're blessed to be in a country where it doesn't matter where you're from, it doesn't matter, as long as you have the skill, as long as you have the drive that you mentioned, and the dream, and you are working hard, you can be successful. And you guys are a perfect example of that, actually. So we're going to explore a lot more about this. So thank you very much for telling us a little bit about yourself. Zedbai, I would like to stay with you and ask you a bit more questions. I know you're quite passionate about AI, you're passionate about technology, and you're watching this very closely. And what I'd like to understand from you, really, how do you think the AI is impacting in our day-to-day lives, and what's your take on artificial intelligence?
Well, Romel, you remember in the late 60s, we had an invention called a calculator, right? And there was a company called Texas Instruments. They produced a calculator called TechSet, and people were genuinely worried. Headmasters, teachers, that if a child brings a calculator in the school, it will be unfair, right? And technology always brings about fear. People are afraid of technology. That, if they do this, this will happen. If they do that, that will happen. But what I'd like to explain to everybody is that human intelligence is the actual intelligence, right? That comes from the human being. So every technology of tomorrow, invention, innovation, is by a human being, right? For the advancement of the human beings. And in our journey of life, we always have to adapt to change.
That's right.
If we don't adapt to change and we remain to be an RTC, resistance to change, we will not go forward.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
I don't want my son or my grandchild to be like me. I don't want that. I want them to be better than me.
Yeah.
Then I've succeeded. If they be the same like me, then we've got a problem. Now we are living here today in times where the system is a 19th century
Yeah.
system that we live in. Our social system, our political system. Now our business system is good because every businessman out there, he will adapt to any technology that comes his way that's going to make him more money.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That is the commonality of human beings is money, 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 more money. 4 M's. It brings the world together. And in our deen, we say deen and we say dunya,
Yeah.
which is 50% is your deen and 50% so dunya. We have our Mulana, he was here just now, he would confirm that.
Yeah, that's true. And even in Islam, it's actually said, the people, those who are giving is better than those who are receiving. In the sense of like, when you're donating, if you're giving, and it was, one of the biggest pillar of our Islam is Hajj. If you don't have money, you don't have to do Hajj. Right, so indirectly there are lots of signals that says yes, go do work hard, earn money, invest into your communities. All these good things connects with what you just said.
So going on from that, in the world of AI, artificial intelligence, and AGI, artificial general intelligence, there's great things on the way. The sad thing for me is that I'm in decade number 6. I'm talking to people who are decade number 3. And they are worried they lose their job. And I spend hours sitting with them to explain to them, no, you will not lose your job. You'll have a friend in need.
Yes.
Who will do half of your job for you.
Yes.
And you will catch up and do more work. And time is money. Money is time.
Absolutely.
The time you save is going to be good for your health and your wealth.
Yes.
Right? So this new technology of artificial intelligence is absolutely brilliant. How many percentage of people know how to use ChatGPT? How many know how to use DeepSeek? So people are lazy.
Yeah.
They'll put something on chat, they'll draft a letter out, and the letter needs fixing.
Yeah.
It's not that it is perfect.
Yeah.
Right? In media, everybody's using AI. Writing a letter that a lawyer would write for you normally. So it is making strides, and we are only at 10% of the capacity of AI. We've only reached 10% of it.
Yeah. Once when I first, because I've been watching this AI revolution from its, quite early days, and I work in IT sector. So one of the things that we do with a lot of technology stuff, and there are so many different tools that people often probably don't know. There's something called firewalls that we use perimeter defense, and there things that we used to do manually, which would take, say, 2 to 3 hours, we can now do in 2 to 3 minutes. Because we got the codes ready, we just launch the code and it does the job. Imagine if you have 200 firewalls to manage and you're taking, it would have taken you 20, 30 hours. Yeah. Whereas now you can do it in 2 to 10 minutes. So the speed and like you said, your efficiency has increased significantly. So you can focus on other things that matter the most. And like you said, this technology and AI is actually going to be with us. So we got to adapt. Businesses need to adapt. And this is where I'm going to come to you, Ramal Bhai. So how are you seeing the technological shift that's happening in your sector? And what's your take on that?
But yeah, that's a very good question, actually. And with that, Bhai, thank you for promoting AI. I really salute you on this. In my personal opinion, I came to England when I only know 3 words: yes, no, and KFC. Sorry.
KFC.
Because I love KFC. I was a cleaner. My first job is the KFC. I was a cleaner.
Okay.
When the shops are closed, I was a cleaner. Yeah. Cleaning the toilet or whatever you call. Yeah. I have no academic. I grown up in slum. Very kind of what you call average family. I have no education. I came in journalist. When I came in this country, I graduated. And I can't read and write till today. But AI, I salute to them, help me. I got software, talk and type. No, you got Apple phone or all the modern phones. I can talk and type. But there's grammar, there's spellings, all sort of stuff. Yeah. It's amazing when AI came. Always I have to relying on my colleagues. I have written the draft proposal or email or article. I send them and wait for them to check in grammar and before I publish or whatever. But now I tell the AI, could you please check the grammar and write with the British English? Boom.
Exactly.
Zad bhai, 30 seconds done.
Exactly.
Amazing.
Yeah.
But as I'm agree with you, if you're using AI, I'm not encouraging them. Make sure facts, as you said, our responsibility to check.
Yes. Fact check
Fact-
it properly.
Our responsibility.
Yes.
Not AI. AI is still as coding.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's our. But I'm really praised to AI change my life. Where if I had written 6 articles in a day, I have to wait sometimes 4 or 5 hours for my clicks because they're busy. But now they think, oh my God, you got fantastic English. But at the same time, we have a responsibility as a human, make sure the facts are right, what we're writing, what we're publishing, what we're sending have to be
It's accurate.
accurate and that we not misleading anyone.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But the technology amazing. In these days, if somebody making excuse, I can't do this, I think so they are lazy.
Yes.
I can say we can. So much AI, all this technology is amazing. And I believe personally in my life, AI have changed my life in a positive way. But at the same time, AI also telling me, make sure you check your facts and everything you're putting on a public domain or you're sending an email, accurate.
Yeah.
So kind of there's the debate, maybe another time. Some people not agree, but I think so AI is a great tool in our life if we use it in a proper way.
If you use it properly. Exactly. I mean, the way I started to, the way I see this is a tool that as you prompt, the better way you prompt it, the better results you'll get.
That's it.
And it's a genius graduate student, knows everything about everything, but it doesn't know what to do and when to do it. You gotta tell it to do it.
That's it.
That's how I see it. And often some people would say that, we are training a engine, and things like, as Zedbai mentioned, when DeepSeek came in, it took everybody by surprise because it was, the GPU that it uses, it was quite cheaper than the OpenAI's, source. So effectively it made it even more, easy. So you can have your own engine, download that and actually train that model whatever you like, and it will work on that, and it will be a lot more different than your OpenAI's ChatGPT.
Can I interrupt you here? It's amazing. You know what? Let's say if I'm giving you a quick example, if I somebody we are from Leicester, sitting heart of the Leicester, give me history of clock tower. Let's say if I'm doing myself, it takes maybe good few hours that way. But no AI, I just give me history, but they still give me in your 30, 40 seconds, or less than 1 minute. But still, as a human, we have to check our facts.
Yes.
But amazing how quickly there's a 1 day work within 30 seconds you've done it. I think so. I give credit to the technology.
Yeah.
Technology is a modern world, is help. But if you use it in a positive way, you will grow with it.
Absolutely. And look, the technology is helping. So, the simple example of like a shop in a city center, for example, he or she, they will only have the people walking into the city center. But if they have a website, they're selling stuff along with their physical brick and mortar shop, then they have ability to reach out to millions of people. Amazon have a website, you have a website. You can, as long as you can promote things properly, you have the SEO optimization, you have the digital marketing, like things like that you guys do, you can potentially reach out to the whole world. So, and that's the beauty of it. So I just want to take a moment and let our audience know that you can call us on our studio line, which is 0116 4822 and you can also SMS or WhatsApp us. It's 077 488 55055. So feel free to give us a call. You can talk to our guests. You can ask any questions. And if you don't want to ask questions, you can just drop us a message and let us know where you're listening from. Okay. So now at this point of our conversation, I'd like to talk a little bit about communication and personal branding. And Ramel Bhai, as you are a CEO of a big media company, Pucar Group. So tell us how you see communication. What's the power of communication, and how you leveraging that?
Bhai, firstly, I would say I don't know, but big company, we are part of the community. Doesn't matter big or small, we are part of the community. And a very good question by you said, powerful tool for communication bigger than your trillionaire or millionaire. Communication is echo your voice, raise your concern, raise your voice to the wider. It doesn't matter you're minority or majority.
Yeah.
Raise your voice. And I believe the media is a great tool of justice. Any part of the community, doesn't matter race, religious, color. And I have seen Pukar maybe is a very small publication, but thanks to the Leicester audience who have supported so much today, I've really take that pride to say we are exclusive to John Lewis.
Brilliant.
That is. And that's not me, that's not my team, that's the member of the public who made a Pukar. And as you can see, we are in a very tough time, everybody believing on digital media. We are the only publication entire in Leicester and Leicestershire we are growing in a print. We are growing.
Okay.
People struggle.
So you're also on digital platforms as well,
We are
right?
digital platform,
Yeah.
but we are print as well.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's amazing when...
We apologize, sorry to interrupt. We've got a caller here, so let's take the call and see who's calling.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. Who's calling, please?
It's Muhammad Farhan.
Oh, mashallah. How are you, Farhan Bhai? How are you? Where are you watching this from?
Alhamdulillah. Yeah, Leicester local, alhamdulillah. Just calling in, listening to your show, mashallah. And the discussion that you're having, I think is really important discussion, something that is obviously on the top of everyone's mind. Everyone's discussing it, specifically about artificial intelligence. But I just had a question for yourselves and the brothers, mashallah. Regarding artificial intelligence, I agree, I concur wholeheartedly that in terms of productivity it is a great tool. But the only fear I have, or the only reluctance I have with it, or one of the fears I have, is that it's making us less original.
Mm-hmm.
Because for me personally, I go on LinkedIn and I see so many people, the content looks so similar because we're using the same tool.
Uh-huh.
And in the process of that, we're losing our originality. So I just wanted to ask the brothers, like, how do they overcome that, maintaining our own identity and originality whilst using AI?
That's a beautiful question. That's a very good question. I think we'll go to Zedbai. And
that's an easy one to answer for me. I've seen that innovation and invention goes through a process. As I said earlier on, we're only at 10%. Only at 10%. There's so much more to come. So much more I have seen that has absolutely shook me. It shook the ground I was standing on, right? Like, for example, you have in your political sphere, you have the traditional autocracies. You have concentration of power with the few. Now, with the new AIs coming along, which the first objectors to it will be the politicians of every country in the world, right? Party politics, which often reinforce division and self-interest, will no longer be necessary. So look at the positive things that it will do, and look forward to them. Everywhere you will see positive, you'll see negative.
Yeah.
And in this field of work, I will say to you, Muhammad Farhan, I can tell from your voice that you're a man of AI. You're going to be in my team. And we're going to bring change together. Let us be the change that we want to see in this world, Romel.
Yes.
I may agree.
Yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so Farhan Bhai, you raise a very good point, and I 100% take what Zed Bhai is saying. But obviously, one of the biggest power that we actually have is our imagination. Human are, in many ways, in all the time we've seen human always better than the tools that they use because of our imagination. And Farhan Bhai, as you rightly say, people, I do also fear that sometimes youngsters, our children who are 12, 13, 14, 15, are they really going to utilize their imagination like the way we had the opportunity? Because we didn't have any YouTube or Facebook or Google at that time. Yeah. So we had to learn, read from the books, and actually imagine things. And that helped our imagination. And what happens when you imagine things? You think outside the box. You're not designed.
So Farhan Bhai, are you still there?
Yes, I'm still here. Yeah.
Okay, so every one negative, I will put on the table 10 positives. So those 13,
Very good.
14, 15-year-olds you're
And-
talking about, the world,
yes.
let's talk about the global world now. You will see a balance of power between East and West. You've seen an example what DeepSeek did with $8 million and what the competition did with $1 billion. You see?
Yeah.
See what I mean
Yeah.
by balance of power? The world
Yeah,
cannot
100%.
the world cannot continue with weapons of mass destruction killing each other. With balance of power there will be stability where you fire one, I'll fire back two. You understand me what I'm saying, Farhan? So with AI,
Yeah.
AI, code writing, algorithm, I'm from in the era where we used to have a book called Logarithms, right? And we used to work out
Yeah.
how to work those logarithms. I doubt if anybody even remembers how to do a logarithm now.
Well, in
Today's
in
day and
GCSE, they
age.
still teach logarithms, to be honest.
We used to have that book, and it was difficult. I can't remember. I remember the numbers.
Yeah.
But we are going forward now in a positive direction,
Yeah.
a change in
Yeah,
every sector from security for your community. How important do you value security, Farhan?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I wholeheartedly agree. And one point that Brother Saugat mentioned that particularly struck with me is regarding imagination and creativity. And I think you will all agree that the results we get are only as good as the prompts that we use in AI. And I think this is where, for example, for us, well, I used to be a teacher, by the way. I used to teach computer science, and I'm an IT professional now. And I think this is one where we can tell students and young people that don't get complacent with your English or your other studies, because that will make you even better with using these tools.
Yes.
Because it will inform your prompts and the way you engage with the tools, and increase that creativity that you brothers mentioned. But it's wonderful to hear, and I'm all for it. And I think I'm always up for change and adapting and being more productive in these ways and innovation, because I think it's a good thing.
Amazing. So, Farhan Bhai, thank you so much for calling us and telling us, asking a beautiful question. Jazakallah for your time. Please keep watching, or we will continue with the show. And hopefully, if you have any further questions, feel free to call us again.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you for taking my call. Thank you.
Before we get to our next topic, let me just read out a message. Muhammad Ashraful Firdaus Chowdhury, watching from Bangladesh. MashaAllah, very timely topic. Thank you, Ashraful Firdaus, for your message. And thank you for watching from Bangladesh. Well, that's the beauty
Fantastic.
of the globalization we talk, right?
So that's exactly we're talking about technology.
Technology,
and-
beauty of technology is
He's woken up for Seri. He's Muhammad.
he's woken up.
Because it'll be 5 hours ahead.
Oh, he's ahead of us.
He's actually my younger brother. He's
All right.
he's my younger brother watching from Bangladesh, and he's a professor of finance for a university in Shah University in Sylhet. So yeah, well, thank you for watching, Ashraf, and continue watching. Thank you very much. So let me get to Zaid Bhai. This is actually quite important, and in the topic of communications we're talking. So you are a great leader. I see you as a great mentor, and I have actually seen you helping a lot of people. You've built and created a lot of mentors as well. So I would like to understand, how important is it for leaders to have great communication skills?
Very, very important. The confidence. I've seen you do CV management for youngsters, and then I look at those youngsters and I says, there's a missing link here. Confidence. When you go apply for a job, you sit in an interview, there's 100 people there before you. And a CV will not only, it's just part of the journey.
Yeah.
It's a confidence.
Absolutely.
So it's very important. So when you are working for the next generation to replace us, they have to be better than us. So if you work with them, support them, and tell them how they're going to cut their journey short, yes?
Yeah.
And when you see them that they've exceeded in 7 years, 8 years, to where we have got to in 40 years, Romel.
Yep.
Yeah.
Does that not make you happy?
That is absolutely, that's a
Yeah.
very good point. Yes.
Very good point.
Those that you mentor, those that you support,
Yeah.
if they get ahead of you in 7-8 years, then you did that in 40 years.
Yeah.
You cannot be unsatisfied with that. It brings you a lot of joy.
You know,
You become part of that success,
part of the success.
and you grow more.
Yes, a great teacher love
Yeah.
to see their students getting better than them,
Better
because
than
this is like their success, their direct impact. Yeah, absolutely.
That is our journey of life. That whatever we learn, we pass it on. We can't take it with us.
Yes.
There's no way we can take it. We have to pass it on to those around us and make it better tomorrow. And
Yes.
what makes me really happy is every one of these young people, they have given back to the community in some shape, form or manner, because they understand the
Gee,
principle
gee,
of being mad.
gee. And tell me what MAD is.
MAD.
You've got some
mad.
amazing acronyms.
Be mad. Make a difference.
Make a difference.
So if you're going to help somebody, inspire somebody, and they've been inspired by you,
Yes.
that is a bonus.
Yes. I would like to take a moment to actually share a story with you, if that's okay, if you give me a moment.
Sure.
So, you know, like you said, Zedbai, you know, whatever little things we know, if we help learn, teach some other people, it's just not helping them. You're actually helping yourself in that process as well. So as I've been in the sector in IT and also recruitment for the last 8-9 years, so I do CV writing, cover letters, interview preparation, all those things. So City Retreat, this charity work, and the mosque that we know, they do some amazing work. So I had a session with them, and we on our first session we had about 22 people. And there I met a lady who come from Iran, and she was a accountant for about 12 years there. Then she came here, got married, had children, and you know, she got busy with her family life, didn't get a chance to go back to working sector again. And last year she started looking for jobs, but because there was a massive gap, she wasn't able to find anything. So she got my advertisement, she reached out to me, and she actually went to that City Retreat event. And there, after the whole session, 1 hour session, well, it was actually 3 hour sessions. After the 3 hour session, I sat with her, and then the following day she called me saying, "Hey, I would like to get a CV done from you," and she actually got a CV done. So my event was on Thursday. She'd done the CV. She spoke to me on Friday, and Saturday I've done the CV, and then Sunday I went to Istanbul with my parents. When I came back after a week, she calls me. She goes, "I tried to call you, but you know, you told me that you're going on holidays. I didn't even disturb you. I've got an interview." And I said, "What? That quick?" She goes, "Yes, because I've got an interview coming, and I'd like to get a bit more help from you to prepare for interview preparation." So I sat with her for another couple of hours online, and she went for the interview. Unfortunately, she didn't get it, but that was her first interview in about a year. Yeah, and she was so happy that CV and that preparation gave her the uplift. And then we spent a couple of additional calls, and she started her own bookkeeping company now.
Fantastic.
Yeah?
That's
It's an
great.
amazing. And when I saw that and the transformation she had from not feeling very comfortable to a confident lady who's ready to start her new business, it's just an amazing transformation. And the ability to be part of that was actually a really true blessing. You know, so that's something I just wanted to share with you. So yeah, so alhamdulillah, it's good to be able to give something back to the community and see the fruits of it. Yeah.
So you can imagine the happiness when a father and mother, they call you and they say to you that we have just finished praying and we were praying for you. And I said, "Okay, tell me more." He said, "My children, I set up 6 different businesses for them and none of them was successful. Yes, you came along and you supported them, you helped them."
MashaAllah.
And he said, "It wasn't meant for me. God had chosen you to come and do that task." He says, "Brother, I'm there for you. Anywhere I am in the world, I'll be there for you when you need me."
MashaAllah. This is so true. Your blessings from your elders, your parents, your families, it's so important. and it's very important to have that drive, and alhamdulillah, now we're lucky to have a community where people are, brothers who are successful or who have seen some more than us. You are happy to come and give us that guidance that we didn't have 20 years ago, and I feel like if I have something, and if I have a mess, and if I have a message from that mess, I would like to pass that message across to my little audience that I have. And that's actually why I said yes to doing this show as well. So actually at this point, I'm looking at the time, looking at 17 minutes left on this show. Wow, how's the time going? So we like to talk a little bit about this interview preparation and techniques and stuff. So I know you have a team of people and you often take interviews. So what are the key attributes you look for when you're looking for hiring some new people? And what are the challenges you see in hiring at the moment?
But that's probably other good question. When you're hiring a people, firstly, I was don't judge them personally. Yeah, the wording judging always wrong. We're looking at scale. That no mean you can judge. Sometimes very ordinary people, they have extraordinary scale.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what they said? Don't judge the book by the cover, right?
That's it. You got it. So let's have a conversation with them. Don't interview them. In my industry, is very different. Of course, and ZBuy is a very commercial. They look into profit and losses. We're looking in stories. Everybody have a stories. So I always say to people to be yourself. You can go for a job interview, or you can apply any role. Or if you are sitting in the other end, you are interviewing them, to think one day you are on that side as well.
Absolutely.
And that's why I look into. I sit in many interviews, executive interview, to just any small job or higher job. I have a scene, so I like to give people's what they come up. Firstly, I've told them, don't be nervous. Just let's have a conversation. And out of that conversation, you can figure it out.
Yeah.
That's the right team for you. Or maybe not wrong, the word is wrong. Maybe they're no right time at the moment. Maybe in the future they could be part of your team.
Might not be fitted for this particular role, but for something else.
Something else.
Yeah.
And that's why exactly. Let me give you this a quick example. The first person, when I started Pukhar, I didn't have much money, and that gentleman was studying De Montfort University and done journalism. He joined me as a journalist. And he rang me. He sent me a CV. I said, I have no money. I'm working from home, from my garden, from my kitchen, wherever we call. But he said, I still want to work. I have nobody giving me job. He came for an interview, and I see his passion. You know what I said to him, Bhai? I said to him, make sure do not give me every excess. Do not break my server. I'm happy to give you the job. And today, he's head of the production.
Wow. Amazing.
So you have to believe yourself and to believe other person.
Yeah.
And I always say to people, let them listen to people's story and let them people tell you the story.
Absolutely.
Don't go for CV. CV mislead you everything. And I take that responsibility. I'm saying on air. And I know the Ofcom rules too. So sometimes people make the CV look so posh, so believable in you. When come in real life, it's really different. Just have a conversation.
Yeah, exactly. This is a good point, what you say, because it's not just about writing the CV.
No.
Like, you need to, this CV is not just a piece of paper.
No.
So those who believe just a piece of paper, that's where they go wrong. It's someone's whole life story. It's their whole work experience.
Yeah.
And you have to have credible information there that you can back it off.
That's
it. When I write some CVs for someone, I tell them, when I write their key skills, I spend time with them. I don't just write the CV. I spend time with them, take the interview, so understand the people. And my clients, they actually come back to me saying, wow, this is like a therapy session for me. So they explore things that they never really ask themselves those questions. And then when you're saying key skills, it's not just about saying communication skills. How are you communicating with someone? Are you able to understand who you're talking to? Your communication with your colleague will be one thing. Your communication with your senior manager will be something different. Your communication with the junior consultant will be something different as well. So it's about understanding the layer of communication methods. So yeah, you raise a very good point about coming back to that. Is passion. So you see in people's what do they have passion for what they're doing? And do you know what? It's absolutely brilliant, because in my life I've taken so many interviews, and this is exactly what I see as well. Your hard skills, you can train people, but the soft skills and the passion and the drive, it's not something you can teach. So it's good to hear that you also follow the same. How about yourself, Zedbai? What do you look for when you try to hire someone, or what impresses you when you look at someone?
Okay, I'm 80% with Romel about CVs. So what I will look at a CV is how many jobs you had. If you had too many jobs, then that is a red flag for me. Then I will look at if you have worked at even, let's say, McDonald's or KFC, like what he mentioned before. I will put your CV to the right side to study it more. Because why? When you're 16-year-old, you go and work at any of these places, what they teach you is wake up, dress up, show up on time.
Absolutely.
And you learn timekeeping there. You learn process. You learn system there. Even if you only stay there 3 months, but you will never forget that part of your life. Like Romel earlier on mentioned KFC.
Yeah.
He's never forgotten.
Never forget.
Never.
Right? So that is, I will put it to the right side. Then next thing I will look at, I will advise anybody who goes for a job, is just look in the mirror and ask yourself, am I an asset or am I a liability?
Very good.
Right? The business journey and our life's journey is about assets or liabilities. If you're a liability, your wife is going to dump you. Yes?
Yeah.
Now, anywhere in this planet,
I hope she's not listening.
liabilities will bring losses. Yes, Romel?
Yeah, I agree.
So we have to look at that company where we are going to work, to go study them, research them, and then go and show it to the person who will interview you that I'm going to be an asset for you.
Yeah.
Right? And you may be in a situation like I was when I went for an interview when I was 18. They said to me, why would we give you a job? We have a 40-year-old who has the experience. I said, yes, but this 40-year-old, he's probably married, got 2-3 children. He can't run like me. I'm a fast learner. I will learn quickly and I'll be running for you. I'll do 10 calls a day and he'll only do 3 calls a day. Right? So I'm an asset for you to invest in. So they gave me the job.
Very good. Yeah, that's really...
So I got to only relay my own experience to always remember that.
Yeah, absolutely.
To be an asset.
This is really good, because this is something amazing, because I say that to my candidate as well. So you need to make sure if the table's turned and you're the one who's actually hiring someone, would you hire yourself? Do you have the right skill sets? If you don't have the skill sets, then what are you going to do to really increase those skill sets? So really you need to look into yourself, see where the gaps are, where your skill gaps, and what are you trying to achieve, and then work on it, and hopefully then you can achieve that. So some of the top 5 interview tips for our listeners, I'd like to say, know your job description, make sure you know what type of job you're going for, tailor your answers based on those job descriptions, research about the company, understand the company values, their cultures, and any recent news. Go and check people who are in the LinkedIn accounts, see what type of people working there, what are they publishing, so you can get a lot more out of these from LinkedIn these days. You want to add something?
Fantastic, but sorry I interrupt you. I really can't like to say. Great. If you're looking at professional career, I hope Zedbai agree with me. Focus on LinkedIn.
Yes.
Okay, Instagram is a different. I'm going out and about, having a friends with the food and I post it. Yeah, your profile is looking in different.
Yeah.
Facebook's LinkedIn, your professional
Professionalism.
profile. We're not here to promote LinkedIn, but we here to tell our future generation or whoever looking into LinkedIn's give you example of your lifestyle as a professional.
Absolutely. In fact, one of our sessions, we actually talked about the power of LinkedIn, and we actually do LinkedIn optimization. And one of our guests, who's a senior data analyst, a data scientist, and a leader of that technology tower, he got headhunted because of the LinkedIn.
Fantastic.
And that's how people are getting jobs these days. So those of you are listening, and if you don't have your accounts in LinkedIn, we're not promoting LinkedIn. They don't pay us for this. There are other platforms available, but utilize these free tools, because these are the weapons and toolkit you need to have so you can be successful. So coming back to the top tips that I'd like to tell our listeners is also there is another thing called STAR method. So if you're asked any question, follow the STAR method. What is that? Your situation, your task, your action, and your results. So if someone says, tell me a scenario when ... So see if you can find that method in mind. So if you explain the situation, explain what the task that you had to do, and find out what actions you've taken, and then how does that affect the result of it. So if you do it like this, then your answer will be much more constructive and it will be meaningful. And then also make sure you before going for interviews, you actually talk to your friend or someone that you rely on, or even if you don't have a friend, just go through some question and answers and video that to yourself and repeat and see that. And if you video that and actually you realize how you're articulating yourself, where the ums and ahs are coming, you can actually refine those things and get yourself better before the actual interview. So these things actually help. And finally, a lot of people go for interviews. At the end of the interview, people say, do you have any questions? And they don't ask those questions.
Yeah.
It's absolutely critical to ask a question or two just to make sure your interviewer really understand why, I should hire this person. Even things like, what are the values that, you believe, and what are the projects you guys are working on? And what are career opportunities do I have if I work with you for another 2, 3, 5 years? So these helps interviewer understand that this guy is not, he's thinking ahead of it, right? So hopefully if you're listening, you take some of these things from our guests and understand this from, these key tips. And if you need any more help or support, please do reach us later on as well. Zedbhai, I just want to ask you one more question. So in terms of your experience in this businesses and stuff. So obviously entrepreneurship is within your blood, right? So you've been doing so many different businesses. So tell me, what are the real mindset you need for entrepreneurship?
You got to be a get up and go 24/7.
Be ready.
You got to see opportunities and don't wait. Don't wait for tomorrow. Do today what will define your tomorrow. So time is of the essence.
Yeah.
TIM, time is money, and MIT, money is time. Always remember that.
Okay.
So the journey of an entrepreneur, most of the Asians in this country who came here penniless, they were zero, they became hero. If I started to profile all of them throughout England, you will say without them, England would be a poor state, right? We come here into these countries to settle. We were not settlers. We did not diminish the population here and take over the country. And we're still working hard with our next generation and our next generation. And how many generations we are here now? 4?
4.
Yeah, we're on generation 4 here. And we are still performing. We outnumber in universities.
Yes.
So be a get up and go, whether you are in profession or you are in entrepreneurship. There's a lot of tools coming ahead in AI to help you to get there faster. And be around positive energy.
Yeah.
It's very important. The journey of an entrepreneur is never going to be successful if he surrounds himself with negative energy. Right?
Yes.
And seek out the positive people who will support your journey, enhance your journey, and give you the value addition.
Yeah.
Right? That is very important. Everything is to do with your communication and the group that you will attach to.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is a message for all of you listening in right now.
Yeah, amazing. So, Ramalbhai, what about yourself? So, what would you say the key ingredients for entrepreneur mindset?
Wow, fantastic. I'm glad. Third one, great question. I always say, becoming entrepreneur, be fearless, and imagine, believe, and achieve. If you don't imagine,
believe, and achieve. Brilliant.
If you don't imagine,
you
never achieve.
Yeah.
If you have to be goal and believe on your goals. That no mean I'm saying believing in wrong goals, going to robbing a bank tomorrow. I'm not saying that. Have to be focused.
Yeah.
That's it. My career came in England, going back quickly, was a cleaner. Then I have a goal. I want to come into broadcaster. Did my degree in journalism, in television journalism. Then I said, okay, how long I can work with all the broadcasters? I want to become into my independent. So it took me a long time, achieved. So I always I go to different universities and colleges, share my experience. I always, if you don't imagine, you never achieve.
Yeah.
So that is all the youngster listening this Ramadan radio also, don't be fair.
Yeah.
Just go for it. If you have a passion, just go for it. As Zedbhai mentioned, South Asian community or any, we are very, very entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And look, I mean, the street is a buzzing. We are all entrepreneurs sitting here. Honestly, Chaiwala, I know the history. Today is the pride of Leicester.
Yes.
That's an amazing example. It's a global.
Yeah.
And I know first email when I received.
Thanks to someone that we know.
Yeah. And that way when I received first email in 2017, I still remember.
Yeah.
Very early stage, Suhail Bhai, yeah?
Yeah.
Where today? And that amazing, maybe they forgotten, I'm not forgotten, still I got that email. And that is showing the strength of believing.
Yeah, and I think if I may just add, because the sense of community is very strong. We're so blessed to be able to live in a city like Leicester, where multiculturalism is well embraced. We're actually the example of multiculturalism, and we're living side by side with all communities. Everybody's helping each other. It's not about where you come from or what's your ethnicity. It's about your talent, your skills, and everybody working together. And that harmony is actually absolutely critical for every cities, including our Leicester city as well.
That's it.
Yeah.
Bhai, I know we got very limited time. I can see the clock, but I like to add on this. Being a part of the community, be part of the culture. I like to add, do not stay in your own zone.
Yes.
If you're living in a Winton, if you're living in a Highfield, try to integrate with everyone.
Integration is the key.
That's the key. Yeah. I have sorry to say that, we're living in our own comfort zone.
Yeah.
If you want to grow, you need to come out. Yeah. Doesn't matter whatever belief, whatever faith you have, what language you have. So we just grow out.
Thank you so much. I'd like to just enhance the fact that it's only like last 30 seconds. Last 2 seconds. Is that by anything last?
Eid Mubarak to all, and today is the last night of the last 10 days. So please make some du'as.
Thank you so much. Any last words?
All I want to wish Ramadan radios to say Eid Mubarak, and please remember us in your prayer.
Thank you so much. So just a few last seconds. So I'd like to say a great thank you to all the Ramadan FM friends and also anybody who's listening. Eid Mubarak. Assalamu alaikum.